Steering the OCD. Hey boy. Today I'm playing Half-Life 1 again. Don't mind me, just hitting a light post or a lamp post. Wherever you folks at home called them baby dolls. Leading us to the power generator here in the great outdoors. Just wanted to see if I could spray that little sign attached to the light poster, the lamp post. And that looks like a switch in there which we could potentially pull in order to disable this dangerous electricity. And maybe... Well, it does seem like a wise idea anyway, doesn't it? But before we get started, let's just break these crates and see what we might find in them, aside from junk and apple cores and bits of paper and what have you. Some bullets. Could that mean we're going to get a gun soon, maybe? You know, looked like it was ammo for the Desert Eagle, which we used in the training section, Intriguing that we can destroy that air vent cover while it's on the floor, isn't it? And I don't think we can get in this door. I know we can't, just showing you that I try all possible avenues and alternatives. So now we're forced to traverse this highly dangerous electrical generator as we make our way out through this other air vent. Get a nice view up there of the sky through that grating above the generator, don't you? Yes, intriguing trees indeed, baby dolls. And now we're coming out to this outer part of the generator where we get a gun for motors. Oh! Trying to get me right click to work so that I can enable the laser sight, but in the meantime let's turn this generator off. Isn't that a nice satisfying sound of the electrical equipment powering down? But in the meantime, need to get rid of this evidence. Can't destroy Otis's corpse though, since he was clearly important to the storyline. Important to the storyline in the sense that he had to show us that this fence and the door is electrified. Now I need to, yeah, that's it. I've turned the laser sighting on for this Desert Eagle. So now we can proceed into potentially dangerous surroundings. Oh, the votes are beaming in already. Fortunately, this gun, this Desert Eagle, is very accurate, as you can see, isn't it? Evidence destroyed. Just like we need to. Well, not really, I just find it funny to do that. And time to have a feast like I did last time. Yes, now we feel nice and full and energetic again after licking up that mayonnaise blood. And now we can touch the fences without being fried. That looks like a guard tower up there, doesn't it? Unless it's just like a kind of airport watchtower type thing where Black Mesa personnel would normally watch and guide helicopters into the landing zones, the various landing zones of the facility, eh? And this smokestack is rising quite high off our crashed helicopter, isn't it? Can't get in it. Oh, we can get in this part. So this is where we would have been sitting when we were riding into this place during the main introduction, eh? Intriguingly enough. Can't spray paint the insides of the helicopter. Can't even spray paint the exterior of it. Strange, but now we can climb over it, as it's no longer being zapped with electricity, is it? Since I disabled the electricity just before. Now we're on top of the fence. Don't think I've ever climbed on top of this fence before. But alas, you do things differently when you know people are watching, don't you? Like, because of how normally I'd just be rushing through the game, but not anymore. Looks like we're just floating in the middle of vast emptiness, doesn't it? Beyond those mountains. I mean, beyond these rocks. If you look above, over them, into the distance beyond. But I digress, baby dolls. Wonder if I can jump on here. No, an invisible wall blocked me, unfortunately. I don't like that kind of thing. Throat's getting a bit gritty again. Can I spray paint this side of the helicopter? No. Another body to destroy, a shotgunner he was, but not anymore. Now he's just bits and pieces of gore on the floor. And I'm a poet and I know it, baby dolls.
Shepard, you're alive. Listen, we've been cut up pretty bad and orders are coming down to pull out. Repeat, pull out. Apparently they've got other plans for Black Mesa now. If you can make your way through the transit system, you can probably reach the surface where we are pulling out. Good luck. Over.
Well then, let's go ahead and pull out of this place, shall we? That sounds like a jolly splendid idea, Sonny Jim. Can I destroy this? No. It appears we can't destroy fully functioning lights on top of security barriers or wherever they are. Isn't that nice and satisfying to break boxes with a charged up swing from our monkey wrench here? When my right click will actually work, that is, and it isn't working now. Most of the time, anyway. Didn't get all that much there. And we can't get through this doorway either. But do you know that if we press our action key on this radio again, we'll get another message?
Get through the transit system to the extraction point.
Sounded like he had a bit of a stutter at the end. Oh yes, we need to get to the extraction point so that we don't let our fellow soldiers down. My Andre the Giant picture didn't show up there when I tried spray painting the barrier, unfortunately. But yes, we've got nowhere to go now except downward. Down the ladder hatch here, so we don't get to stay out in the comfort of the outdoors for long, do we, sadly, baby dolls? Down we go, into the dark, rocky depths. Much more sinister down here, isn't it? Another ladder to go even deeper down here. But because the ladder's broken, we can't get back up. So it's to be hoped we find another way out down here, isn't it? I climbed down the ladder the proper way rather than just falling off there, because I like to do things properly. And here I think we have our first barnacles of opposing force. As you might know from watching me play the main Half-Life game in the past, barnacles pull life forms up at them. Barnacles pull biological life upward through the use of the highly adhesive, sticky tongues. And then, when they manage to pull us up, they'll eat and consume us very quickly and very painfully. Well, because it's something of a waste of bullets to kill these now, I'll just try to get past their sticky tongues without killing them. Looks like there's water down there in these rocky depths. So let's see what's down there, shall we, before we press on through that doorway that we just saw just then. This water's quite deep, actually, isn't it? Best turn my night vision on so that we can see what's down here. If there is anything down here, that's... Oh, a passageway. Intriguingly enough. Yes, we're quite low down now compared to where we were originally, aren't we? Let's head on through this passageway, this rocky passageway. Oh, look. We're way down here now. As last time when we played, we were way up there looking down here at these pipes, which I said reminded me of the Hoover Dam from Fallout New Vegas a tad. Intriguing, carrying the water and the liquid and the fluids pouring down these pipes, isn't it? Let us continue our exploration down here, shall we, silly Jim? For a second there, I was wondering if that was rain from outside, but it's just a breeze from here in the game. And we have more ammunition here, along with a soldier corpse. And even though people probably won't come down here to see this evidence, better to be safe than sorry and destroy his corpse, isn't it? Just for the fun and for the jollies of it, you could say. Nothing else here, so let us head off. Let us potter off, shall we? And get back on track without spending too much time beating around the bush, I suppose you could say. and head on out this doorway. We're a little bit high now, but still much lower down than we were in our last video when we were up there taking all those risky jumps, weren't we? A little bit higher up these pipes now as well. Amazing how as you get further away from them you don't hear the water flowing down them quite as much, isn't it? Well, why hasn't my Andre the Giant spray painted image changed colours, even though I changed the colour of it in the options before I started this video? Maybe I'll do it as I progress beyond this loading screen now. You know I've played this a lot when I can predict where the loading screens are gonna come, don't you? Oh crumbs! Another vault. Fortunately, because of my Desert Eagle's accuracy, I was able to pick him off rather expeditiously, baby dolls. Yes, I'm an intellectual and I know my big words, don't I? Evidence disposal, even though he was one of my fellow soldiers. Wow, these pipes sound awful heavy duty, don't they? As presumably more liquids flow through them, maybe. Or maybe it's just a source of power pulsating through these strange but also great metallic structures down here, eh? Let's sneak on. Because down there is another vault, as you can see. And I'm not going to try shooting through these grates because these grates are like invisible walls pretty much, and our bullets won't be able to pass through the holes in these grates. Sadly, the game programming for this expansion doesn't allow for that, which is why the vault will only fire at us when we pass over the edge of it, and he couldn't hit me once he can't hit me once I stand further back, can he? He can't zap me through the holes. So that's proof that you can't fire through these holes. So let's just pick it up. Like so. And now, head on down. Use, but not this way, because that's awful far down. But rather down this ladder here. Like so, Sonny Jim. As I descend further into the bowels of this place, I heard a deep resonant pulsing of these pipes, even more deeply and profoundly. Evidence must destroy the evidence for the fun of it. Oh, I'm being zapped. Oh no, a vault was trying to zap me, and he dies for his troubles, because I don't take kindly having electrical jolts directed in my direction. That might have been a bit of a redundant figure of speech there, eh? What do you think? Directed in my direction. Not gonna kill this barnacle. Does that be rather quite an unfortunate waste of ammo? So let's just head on through this door instead and see what we can find. Wasn't there a skill jump, eh? Didn't quite make that one though. But once again. But as you can see, I knew they were gonna come, since I have played this rather a lot in the last few years. So I'm full on health now. I didn't miss any boxes up here, did I? In my haste to get down there? No, I didn't. Okay then, let's see what's down this ladder. Don't think there's anything down here, but that's an awfully high elevator shaft, isn't it? One of the rather famous diagonal elevator shafts of Half-Life. Don't tend to see them in many other games, I don't think. There's nothing down here in this space beneath the elevator. Space where it can't get any lower. And now up the ladder we go again. And we progress down this corridor. That's a rather intimidating fall to take, isn't it, if we miss this jump? But we won't, because I'm highly skilled. High voltage. Oh, that's not good, is it? That those remains of the bridge collapsed under my weight as I made that leap. Like my residual kinetic energy as I leapt over those little bits and pieces of bridge caused it to collapse due to its diminished structural integrity with how it was already damaged and all. Yes, that door does look awful secure, doesn't it? So, I wonder if my Android picture's changed colour now. Yes. You could say Andre the Giant's got a bad case of the blues at the moment, couldn't you? Anyway, let's try and find a way out of this place, eh? I just don't... Oh, okay, I won't take that door. Oh, this is rather foreboding, isn't it? Could this be the end of our valiant protagonist, Adrian Shepard, as our platform gets smaller and smaller as it gets destroyed by the electrical bolts? Oh no, the radioactive liquid's pouring in, but the catwalk collapsed so we can climb up it like a hill, like a ramp. G-Man! G-Man, let me out of here! I'm gonna die! Yes, thank you! Oh, he's leaving! Wait, G-Man, I want to thank you personally! How did he do that? How did he just vanish off the face of the earth, I wonder? I can't use any of these controls. But let's paint Andre's face on the window. Just because, well, why not? Yes. Okay, let's press on now. Down this elevator, and hope there's nothing too nasty down here to greet us. More electrified, toxic sludge. Not a good sign. And an exploding box, which I'll destroy, just for safety's sake. Yes, very safe indeed. Health kits, which I don't need, ammo, which I do need, and now it's time to make our daring jump across this electrified sludge, electrified radioactive liquid. Yeah, yes, that was awful close, but I got lots of supply boxes here, isn't there, in this supply room overrun with radioactive liquid. Electrified radioactive liquid. Let's make a daring jump across the place. I heard the head crab spring at me and it leapt into the sludge and died. Yes, he did the same. More head crabs in here. They're all over the place, aren't they? Oh, it hits me. Yes, I'll take that. I did at least manage to take out one of those head crabs with the explosive concussive force. At that explosion, but there's another one here. Not for much longer though. Okay. So what else is here, I wonder? A Barney corpse, that's what. Evidence. So, because there's no way out of this room except for that door there, but because there's a whole lot of radioactive sludge in the way, it appears we need to use these controls to move that platform over to that door, wouldn't it? I still don't know what this button does either, but it makes the platform over there make a strange creaky sound. Say, did you hear the creaky sound? But yes, let's use this lever to move the platform over here to where I'll be able to use it to leap over to that doorway, eh? Sounds like a bright idea to me. Yeah. Yes. More boxes to destroy for supplies. Ammunition, health, armor, battery power, all that other good stuff, you could say. Don't those alarms put you at a sense of unease, eh? They get louder in this direction, so it's a good thing we're heading over here, isn't it? Away from them. Maybe we're heading away from the danger as well, eh? Aren't I an expert at platforming? Comes in handy, especially when there's armor battery power to get. And when it helps you to avoid the radioactive sludge as well. Now I press that button to open the door so we can leave this place, yes. The floor isn't lava, but it is electrified sludge, which I managed to avoid nicely. So let's press on. Doesn't this corridor shape remind you of like Star Trek corridors a bit on board the starships? Even though I don't watch Star Trek anymore because it's too atheistic for my taste, Sonny Jim. And don't these barriers remind you of parking lots a bit, eh? The entrances to parking lots. Andre the Giant approves of this doorway. Doesn't he but doesn't Andre look a bit like a kind of Transformers cartoon robot a bit? His face with that blue colour against that dark Spartan cold iron background of this hard metallic door, eh? Anyway, if you've watched my playthrough of the main game of Half-Life 1, you'll realise this room looks highly familiar, as this is where our tram ride rode through when we were playing as Gordon Freeman on our way to the Sector C test labs for the beginning of a hard day's work, which ended up being a hard day's fight for survival once the resonance cascade happened and alien life poured into the facility, and then soldiers arrived at the facility to silence the personnel of this place and kill all of the alien life. So that meant Gordon Freeman didn't just have to fight aliens and parasites, but also the military. And no, that's too much of a big fall to take, and we wouldn't be able to get back up, so we'd probably die upon contact with that floor. And we can't make that jump through to that tunnel either, where it probably isn't a bright idea to go gallivanting through that tunnel when it's intended for big trams, is it? So let's head on down this broken open pipework, as there's nowhere else to go. Looks very dark up there, so we're forced to go down to this flowing liquid through another loading screen. Whee! Good thing the water is deep enough for me to not hurt myself with that fall, isn't it? Nothing here, it seems, in the water. So I've always wondered, storyline-wise, whether we fell down that gap, fell down through that opening down this flow of liquid. Makes you wonder what's up in that gap, doesn't it? On the other side. Of course, we never get to find out, but it's an interesting thought. After all, the Black Mesa facility does inspire a lot of imaginative thinking on my part, I think. Well, I know, since I know my thought processes better than the rest of you. Very quiet in here all of a sudden, isn't it? Just dripping of water in this echoey, expansive metallic chamber. It's kind of relaxing though. Only way out of here, as it seems, is this ladder over here, so let's take it and hope for the best. Awfully slippery, this rather angular pipe here, so let's just ignore it, as there is nowhere to jump away from it. Avoid these barnacle tongues as I try to slip on through. With how that barnacle tongue moved, I thought it was moving to try and grab me. Gave me a bit of a shock. But, alas, let's not dwell on these disturbing things and move on instead, shall we? Very atmospheric, isn't it, the sound of this liquid pouring in here into this vast echoey chamber. Oh look, bullets and a grenade and grenades. Very handy supplies to have indeed. Oh, I can hear the alarms again. And alas, we're here in another highly radioactive place with nothing to do except destroy these explodey barrels and see if we can help our robotic friend here. Those footstep sounds sound awfully creepy, I think. After all, the sign says no access during robotic loader operation, doesn't it? So maybe that will change when the robot leaves, eh? Say, things do change. Down we go. Try, and while we try not to skinny dip into this radioactive sludge with a spot of platforming as we reach the sewage overflow control and press the button to drain the sewage. Like so. And because this drainage machine did such a good job of draining the sewage away, Andre the Giant approves of this piece of machinery, and so do I. That's an interesting little component to this machine, isn't it? Seems like it's hydraulically powered, I would say. Yes, as well as being a soldier, I'm an engineering expert. The cogs in this machine appear to be functioning finely. And I spray paint these moving parts. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Now this cog is forever going to have a picture of Andre the Giant on it as it twists and turns. Intriguingly enough. Okay, let's progress and try to avoid the sludge. Can't go in here. So let's just leave this place and head up the elevator. Elevator action, you could say. Oh no, they're trying to trap me. The hound eyes. I don't take kindly to these shenanigans. I'll tell you that. That takes care of that little problem, doesn't it? And so, because we've been playing for a while now, and because we're in a rather quiet place, I'm gonna stop the video here. So let's save. And until next time, just need to deal with my OCD. We'll see you next time.